Hey guys, how we doing? Um, Last day of the week. Tomorrow, no school. Whoop, whoop. Awesome deal. I know some of you guys, most of you guys, today you need to do Chemistry Live. Okay, um, originally I was going to give you some homework here today and give you something to work on, but I realized that most of you guys are going to be busy doing Chemistry Live at 1 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 1 o'clock. Okay, you got to do it. So make sure you're doing that. When we do Chemistry Live today, we're going to talk about ways to quantify, figure out numbers around solutions. So, quantifying, putting numbers to solutions. So, we're going to talk about percentages, we're going to talk about volumes, we're going to talk about masses. But one of the things that's going to pop up today, we're going to talk about parts per million, ppm. And so, I wanted to show you and make sure you know what that is. So if you watch this video, that's going to help you, and then you'll be good for that'll actually be a helpful thing for Chemistry Live today. So I'm going to shut up, show you this video, and then I have one slide I want to show you of how it's applicable to you and me today here in Minnesota, and then I'm done. All right, here we go.
What does it mean to be 1 in a million? Not in the greeting card sense. In the scientific sense, where 1 part per million is a unit of measurement. Parts per million counts the number of units of one substance per 1 million units of another. It can measure concentrations when a small amount makes a big difference. For example, a concentration of just 35 ppm of carbon monoxide in the air is poisonous to us. We encounter measurements like this pretty often, but because it's hard to conceptualize really large numbers, it's difficult to wrap our brain around what 1 part per million really means. So here are 9 helpful ways to visualize it. If you had 11,363 pianos worth of piano keys, one of those keys would be about 1 part per million. So would a single granule of sugar among 273 sugar cubes. 1 second in 11.5 days. Or 4 dots in the painting A Sunday Afternoon on the Island of Le Grand Jatte. Your bathtub's capacity is about 60 gallons, so 7 drops of ink would be 1 part per million. The English version of the Harry Potter series has 1,084,170 words, which makes hippogriff on page 221 of The Prisoner of Azkaban a little less than 1 part per million. A million kernels of corn is about 1,250 ears, so 1 kernel in that truckload would be 1 part per million. There are 10 million bricks in the Empire State Building, so 1 part per million would be a pile of just 10. And finally, 100 people worked together to animate this video. Collectively, they have about 10 million hairs on their heads. Pluck 10 of those hairs, and you have 1 in a million.
All right, so that just helps us try to picture parts per million. I want to show you one more slide, and then I'll be done. All right, so this is the one slide I want you to see. Let me move my face out of the way. Did I make it smaller? Yeah, there we go. Get me small. I don't need to be in there. Okay, but this is the one slide I wanted you to see. So I don't know how much you know about Minnesota and their fishing industry, but fishing in Minnesota is a really big part of who we are. It's a part of our economy. It's part of our resorts. But there's a great example of parts per million found in fish. So one of the things about fish in Minnesota and fish everywhere is they take in everything in the water. And one of the things that's found in the waterways here in Minnesota is a chemical called mercury. It's actually a chemical element. So Hg, if you look in the middle of this PowerPoint here, of course, it's not going to let me write, is it? No, why would it let me write? Here it goes. Hg, that's mercury. And so one example here is the walleye. So at the top, I have this picture of this fish. It's called a walleye. It's the Minnesota state fish, by the way. But walleye eats smaller fish. And so these little small fish get just a little bit of mercury in them. And it's not a big deal because it's such a small concentration.
But then the walleye comes along and he eats a small fish and another small fish, another, and that mercury starts to build up. Now it's never a lot, but if you think back to the video that we just watched, they talked about they use parts per million in examples where small amounts can have a big impact. This is one of them. So if you look at the left side here, there it says species. What are the different species found of fish? There's if you look at the third one down here, right here is walleye. Okay, that's what we're looking at here. Now there's other ones. There's bass and lake trout. We have those in Minnesota. They even have canned tuna on here. But walleye, if you look at, they're actually moderately high in their mercury levels. And so what they actually recommend is that you only have one meal a month of walleye. And some of you guys are going, what? I eat a lot of walleye. And now it depends on the body of water where you catch those in. So if you're up north and you're in the boundary waters and you're catching walleye, man, that water's pristine. There's not much, any mercury in there. Have at it. But if you're down where I live in Fridley and you're in the Mississippi River or go down to the dam here in Coon Rapids and you're catching walleye, you might not want to eat more than you think you are. Okay, so one meal per month is kind of what they recommend because of the mercury. It builds up in walleye. Well, now think about it. If you eat walleye after walleye after walleye, it starts to build up in you, and now you increase in concentration. And so that's what we're going to talk about today in Chemistry Live. We're going to talk about concentration. We're going to talk about solutions. We're going to talk about quantifying those. And one of the quantifiers is parts per million. So I wanted to share that with you. It's a great example. And that's all I got for you. So again, 1 o'clock, we have Chemistry Live. Tomorrow, Friday, school's off, baby. Woo! Okay, so enjoy your long weekend. You got a 3-day weekend. Enjoy it. I miss you guys. Can't wait to see you face to face again. Looking forward to Chemistry Live today where I get to see some of your beautiful smiles. Hey guys, keep it real. Have a good weekend. We'll talk to you later. Peace.